So we'll just discuss that and go ahead. Suppose if you have this ester, right? So the ester is like this. We have C double bond O, OET, OET, this way. Okay, this is an ester which is there. Now on this ester we are making an RMGX reaction. So we have learned in ester already that every OET group will keep leaving. So the same thing will happen here also. First we can expect that we'll have C double bond O, ET O, right, and with minus sign we can have OET with R group here, and the bond will close as double bond and this group will leave. So this is how we can have an elimination, we can have substitution reaction happening, C double bond O and R. So it would happen two times, correct? So it would happen two times here. So we would have again if I react that with RMGX, so another ETO minus will be replaced and we'll get ketones. Once we get ketones, we know that we will have reaction with RMGX to form addition product here, MGX plus R and R here, and that on hydrolysis will get alcohols. So OH here with all three R groups here. So that is how you will get this product. Make a note. So minimum required is 3 moles. So all 3 moles are removing this diester and forming this as an alcohol. We learned in the morning also, esters usually give tertiary alcohols. Now instead of ester, it is some kind of an acetal group. That means we have some kind of a ether groups with respect to one carbon. So everywhere we have to replace that OET here, right? Ethyl ortho format, and we can get RMGX. Okay. One thing you need to understand that ethers in the presence of RMGX, if you directly treat that with RMGX here, okay, we will have this thing need to understand first. When you have this type of an ether OET, OET and OET here, suppose if this lone pair will try to, get a double bond formation, then OET has to relieve. But that lone pair does not have any motivation to do that. It can happen when you have it in a acidic medium. That means if you have H plus, then we can see we could have OT H positive, which becomes a good leaving group now, OET. Now because that can become a good leaving group, this lone pair can attack and this group can leave. And since RMGX is not an acidic medium, you won't see any reaction happening immediately on this. Okay. So note down. Rest, how the acetals are, how the hemiacetals, these are all the topics you will get in carbonyl groups. As of now, just in case if you come across these types of ethers, no reaction would happen. Now let us come to this primary amines. Let me recall you what we are studying. We are trying to prepare alcohols from various sources. First we done with alkenes, alkyl halides. In alkyl halides we saw Grignard's reagent as a special kind by which we can prepare alcohols. Now we are seeing amines. From amines how we can get alcohols. In amines only primary amines can give alcohols easily. If you check out RNH2, a primary amine, and we treat that with NaNO2 in the presence of HCl, we can get alcohol and N2 gas can be released. This method is called as diazotization, in which you are making a diazonium salt formation first. Okay, we have been doing this a lot of time and you will keep coming across this reaction multiple number of times. See, NaNO2, when you treat that in HCl, first it will form nitrous acid. Nitrous acid, the lone pair present on oxygen will take away this H plus and becomes a good leaving group. So that's when the primary amine will attack on nitrogen, as this behaves like an electrophile, and you will get R2, Rn2 plus and Cl minus, and this is what we call it as diazonium salt. Diazonium salt. We have seen this mechanism before also, just take it as a short mechanism. So we will get this as a diazonium salt formation. Now this diazonium salt is the intermediate which has formed, and I told you about this. If it is alkyl, if it is an alkyl group, this diazonium is highly unstable. Even at the lowest of the temperature, this is highly unstable. Okay, the reason is the strong N2 bond. N2 is very stable. It will give a very stable bond with a bond energy of 930 kilojoules per mole. So nitrogen gas will easily come out of it. Thereby, remainder would be only carbocation. Right? So from this carbocation, we will have further reaction. See, most of the time when we are taking NaNO2, we will always take it in an aqueous solution. So when you take it in aqueous solution, R plus will have more presence of some nucleophiles here, which includes water, includes Cl minus. So we have few compounds present in the solution. So let's see that with an example. First write this overall reaction, everyone. Even if you don't write this mechanism, that's okay, because we have written this mechanism multiple number of times. So see, for example, if I take this particular alkane, okay, propanamine, this is simple propanamine. So if you take this propanamine and try to react with NaNO2, so first we will get a carbocation. So I am just writing the carbocation here. So we will get this carbocation, and this carbocation can get rearranged also. So which means I can get this carbocation as well as this carbocation. These two will be present. One is with rearrangement, one is without rearrangement. Now see what all things are present in the solution. We have H2, because it is an aqueous solution, we have H2O. So in the presence of water, we can get alcohols. We also have halide Cl minus. So there is a chance that we can get chloride. Okay. And since we got an alcohol already, there is a carbocation already present here. So this carbocation might again react with this alcohol to form, ether. So this can form an ether, because it is in acidic medium, guys. It is in acidic medium, so H plus can be acted on that, so we might get an ether also. The same thing will happen with this case also. Here also, if you treat that with H2O, we can get a primary alcohol here. If you treat that with Cl minus, you might get primary alkyl halide. If you treat that with ether, if you treat that with this alcohol which has formed here, right, in the presence of H plus, because this is all happening in acidic medium, so we may get this ether also. There is one more product which we can get. Okay, this type of ether can happen with this also, right, because both the carbocations are present. So we can get this carbocation, this carbocation plus this alcohol in H plus. So the lone pair on this can attack, and that H2O can leave. So thereby we can have this kind of a molecule. Sorry, I meant to say this lone pair can attack here and this type of a product can be formed, which is ether here. 1, 2, 3. I have made 4 of them. 3, 1, 2, 3. This one. So count this now. What all things we are getting? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this was once asked as an integer type, in in this China papers only. So it was asked like how many different products you can get. So you can see these are all the different products you can get. Now let us put some logic into it. Because we have water as an
Sir,
excess amount. Yes, beta.
sir, amine with carbocation.
Amine with, there is no amine presence now, beta. This amine has been converted into it. All N2 has left. Hmm? Got it? This reaction is
In
only
starting of
after.
reaction,
No. This,
in
see what.
starting of reaction, some will be.
Okay. So what you are expecting is that this lone pair could attack here. This is a very fast reaction, beta. We will get everything in the forward direction, no backward direction. So which means you will hardly see any amount of amine present at all. First everything will be converted into carbocation, then only we can see the slow reactions happening. Okay. So don't take any products of amine.
Okay, sir.
Now,
Okay, sir.
okay. Now check whatever the chlorine which is present here, right? I mean, chloride which is present, alkyl chloride, this form or this form, okay? And moreover, in acidic medium, ethers will easily dissociate. Whatever ethers are forming, these are all reversible. They easily go into formation of alcohol in acidic medium. So what you would see, all these alcohols, even in case if there is any alkene also forming, okay, here the alkene formation is less, but it could definitely be one of the traces you can find. So which means, Cl minus could extract proton from here and makes double bond, right? So alkene can also come into this. So these are all the products you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So all these products are possible. Now out of which, if we see alkenes, alkyl halides, even for that matter ethers, these ethers, because these ethers in acidic medium, they will accept this lone pair and becomes H this way, and water will attack on it, on this carbon, and this will break. Again you will get alcohols. So the point is, if you keep it for a prolonged time, you would always get either a primary or a secondary alcohol, isn't it or not? Check out. And most stable alcohol is secondary alcohol. So most of the time you will get the major product as the rearranged product, which is the secondary alcohol. This kind you have already seen, right? Cyclopropyl methyl amine, CPM amine. So in the methylamine, same thing. First a carbocation is formed here. This kind of a carbocation is formed, and that carbocation itself is stable. So quite an amount of alcohol will be formed here. It will rearrange itself also by expanding. We will get around 47%, and it will completely break. It will get 5%. This is a standard amount which you will get when a carbocation is coming in this. Okay. So make a note here. We have did just the other day we have did that with double bond. Now suppose if the amine is directly on cyclopropyl, so this is CPA, cyclopropyl amine. Okay. So in case if you have a cyclopropyl amine and then you treat with NaNO2, okay. Normally in this case, when Cl goes, that is a highly unstable, carbocation, correct? So being such an unstable carbocation, Cl minus eliminations are always more favored in here. So Cl minus will extract that proton here, this N2 molecule will leave, okay, and double bond, as soon as this goes here, double bond will form here, because this bond will break, double bond will form here. So we will get a double bond with positive charge, and which on hydrolysis we will get alcohol. So you will get an allylic alcohol. 95% of this has been found. So which means the major product is alkene here. See the reactions. Now what we will do is only reduction reactions, right from aldehydes, ketones, acids, esters. anhydrides, amides. From all of them, we will try to reduce and get alcohols. Okay. Out of which the first reagent which we will see is Bovold-Blanc reduction. Bovold-Blanc reduction is by a reagent sodium added in ethanol. Okay. First thing we will wonder that sodium, sir, if at all we add in ethanol, don't we see this reaction that ETO minus Na plus and H2 is coming. Well, this reaction will happen, but the reaction relatively is little slower as compared to that of water. So, first reason why we are not using water. With water the reaction is very fast. Second thing, we usually add excess amount of sodium during the reaction. Just when the reaction has to be done, we add some excess amount of sodium, so that even if this side product is coming, it does not affect the amount of sodium present in the solution. So I hope fundamentally what is happening, it is clear. Now see that RCHO aldehydes, when you treat that with sodium in ethanol, it will get reduced to form alcohols. Ketones will also form alcohols. Make a note of that first. So let's see how the reaction proceeds. First, sodium being in excess in the solution, it will start releasing electrons into the solution. The electrons present in the solution sees the electrophilic carbon and attacks on them, because that carbon is quite electrophilic, it will have delta positive on it. So the electrons will start attacking on the electrophilic carbon. As soon as that attack happens, oxygen will take away its electrons and you will get, alkoxide form with carbon having, radical. This kind of a radical formation is called ketyl. So we will have a ketyl radical. Now once you have a ketyl radical here, the lone pair on oxygen which has negative charge will accept the proton from ETOH and becomes this alcoholic radical. Okay. On this radical, again whatever the excess amount of electrons present in the solution, they will attack once again on the radical, makes it formation of carb anion. Remember, there is a carb anion forming here, and that carb anion, okay, ETOH, sorry, OET, will again accept the H plus and make into the formation of alcohol. Please check this. These reactions are very fast reactions, so we can't say, which one is the rate determining step or so. Now this reaction is used in many different forms. Suppose if you do not take ethanol, whatever the radicals that are forming, they will terminate themselves, okay, and give a coupling product. Got it? And even if you have ethanol, aromatic aldehydes and ketones, they usually give major product as coupling products. So all the ketyls will usually dimerize to get this vicinal diols, and which we call it as pinacoles. So with aromatic aldehydes and ketones, ketyls dimerize to give vicinal diols. We call them as pinacoles. So check this as an example. If I take 2 moles of benzaldehyde in the presence of sodium and ETOH, although there is an ETOH present, correct, it won't get into the formation of monoalcohols, it will go for the formation of diols. So basically whatever the radicals which are forming, you can see these radicals will terminate. Okay. So both these radicals which have forming, instead of accepting that H plus, they will terminate and gives a major product as pinacoles. Okay. So once they terminate, now definitely there is a requirement of H plus, which can be satisfied by either ETOH addition or water. So that is why this reaction can be done in sodium and water also, because you are adding water at the end. After the dimerization has done, then at the end we are adding water. So sometimes it would be written this way: sodium, xylene. Sodium will slowly release electrons in xylene, that's why it is used as a solvent. After the coupling is been done, then we do hydrolysis. So even if the reactant is given this way, if the reagent is given this way, it is going to perform the same reaction. It will give this pinacoles. Yes, beta. Here also it is possible. If you do not take ETOH and just keep it at xylene first, first it will only do dimerization, then add water, so we will get the dimerization form. That is called Acylone reaction, Acylone condensation. Okay, we will be studying that in aldehydes and ketones.
Okay.
If it is done by benzene group, it is called benzoin condensation. What we have done right now is like benzoin condensation. Now the similar reaction can be obtained by magnesium mercury, amalgamated magnesium, and adding water or ethanol. Okay, so you can see the same reaction here, just make a note of that. So RCHO, amalgamated magnesium and then water, you would also get this diols. Mechanism is same. First magnesium releases electrons. So if you take 2 moles of this, one electron will go on to uh, 1 mole of electron will go on to one carbon, and the other electron will go to the other carbon, both will dimerize, right? And magnesium being electron rich, the dimerization happens at a much faster rate than sodium. So if you really want to prepare pinacoles, this is a better method. Let's see the next important reagent. Okay, this reagent we'll study together. One is lithium aluminum hydride and sodium boron hydride. Okay, instead of directly studying where they will do reduction, because they both have been very exhaustively used throughout the organic reactions, wherever the reduction has to be done, we'll either take LAH or SBH. Okay, a lot of usage is there. So let us go point by point and understand the differences between them first. Give the heading as reduction by lithium aluminum hydride and NaBH4, and if possible just write it like a table. It will be easy to compare both of them. So check this, guys. Lithium aluminum hydride, in short it is written as LAH. Sodium boron hydride, in short it is written as SBH. Okay, lithium aluminum hydride is a complex which is in this form, Li plus, and aluminum has 4 hydrogen connections. Got it? So 4 ligand hydrogens are present on that. Same is the case with sodium, Na plus with 4 hydrogens present on it. Now if you compare lithium and Na plus, which has more polarizing power? Li plus has more polarizing power compared to that of Na plus, which means, try to understand this carefully. Suppose if there is any oxygen which is present like this, a carbonyl oxygen which is present, and if you have lithium plus and sodium plus in its vicinity, it will have more attraction towards lithium plus. Okay, now when it attracts more towards lithium plus, so we can say that it would have uh, lithium plus is getting more attracted here. Now because the polarizing power of lithium is more, we can expect that slowly the bond will start moving towards oxygen, and the delta positive on the carbon increases. So which means the electropositivity of carbon increases. So in a scientific term, if you have to say that, it is electropositivity of carbon increases. So remember that, that is what this line signifies. Li plus will polarize the double bond more, which means it increases the electrophilicity of carbon. So I will just mention here, increases electrophilicity density of carbon in carbonyl form here. Okay. While if you check out Na plus, it will polarize but not to a larger extent. A small amount of increase in electrophilicity is observed, while with lithium more amount of electrophilicity is been increased. So this is the first important difference we need to understand between these two. Second, if you consider an aluminum hydrogen bond, right, that is loosely held, that means it is weak and can be easily broken. The reason being aluminum is 3p hybridized orbital and S and hydrogen is an s orbital. So it is an overlap between a 3p hybridized orbital and s, correct. While if you consider B and H here, boron hydrate here, it is a strong bond or tightly held bond where boron 2p orbital and s orbital has been overlapping. So we can definitely say the bond strength of BH will be more as compared to that of aluminum and hydride. So from this, can I conclude that aluminum and hydrogen bond can be broken easily and H minus is more available? Now if you compare the electronegativity, if you compare the electronegativity of these three, you will find hydrogen is more than boron is more than aluminum. Okay. So which means hydrogen will come out as hydride H minus and aluminum is more electropositive, so tendency of releasing H minus is more here, while B is relatively less electropositive, so H minus release would be slow. So from here can I say that lithium aluminum hydride is a powerful reducing agent because it can give H minus very easily, while this is less powerful reagent. This is also a good reducing agent but not as good as that of lithium aluminum hydride. I would suggest all of you to at least briefly write down the differences first and understand what are the important points between these two. Next, if you see lithium aluminum hydride, because it is a powerful reducing agent, if you get in contact with any protic solvent, immediately there would be reaction. So this H minus from here, the H minus from here will immediately take the proton and leave as H2 gas. It will leave as H2 gas. Okay. While this is a weak and less powerful reducing agent, so it is still stable in protic solvent. Got it? Which means this can be used in protic solvent like water or ethanol. The reaction is very slow. Now comes an important list about these compounds. Check it out. If you observe lithium aluminum hydride, it will reduce all of this. So we'll first focus on lithium aluminum hydride. Okay. So as of now what I'll do, I'll just close this side now. Now let us just focus on this side first. Okay. Let us focus on lithium aluminum hydride first and then we'll go towards sodium boron hydride and then compare. Check out from the first one. Acid chlorides. Acid chlorides can be reduced by lithium aluminum hydride to alcohols. Okay. We will go mechanism one by one. First we have to understand every reaction and then we'll go to the mechanistic part. Aldehydes, ketones, both will be reduced to alcohols by lithium aluminum hydride. See, lithium aluminum hydride will always be followed by two steps. First, lithium aluminum hydride is reacted, for instance, RC double bond OCl. First, we react that with lithium aluminum hydride. So we will get some kind of an alkoxide here like this H. And second thing is then we'll add water H2O and that's how we will get CH2OH. So in short you can see that this chlorine has been replaced by hydride H minus. So all the reactions are doing the same thing. They are first making an alkoxide and second step is adding of second step is hydrolysis. Check this. Acid chlorides, aldehydes, ketones, esters. Esters will also give the alcohols. This part will also give alcohol. This part will also give alcohol. Anhydrides, that will also give alcohols. Okay. Coming to the next derivative of acids, amides. Amides is not giving alcohols, which means it is getting completely reduced. So understand this carefully. That means we are getting RCH2 NH2 here, and both these hydrogens are coming from lithium aluminum hydride only. Okay. How it comes, we'll slowly go into the mechanism. First, we'll read all the reactions carefully. Okay. Amides will directly convert into amines. So this is an amide which is converting into amine. Okay, getting completely reduced. Same thing, if you have cyanides also, they are getting converted into amines. So cyanides or nitriles, they are also getting converted into amines. Isonitriles or isocyanides, they are also getting converted into amines, secondary amines. So here it is a primary amine, here it is a secondary amine, that's all. Okay. So first start writing the list here. Okay, which all reductions will take place? Acid chlorides, aldehydes, ketones, esters, anhydrides, amides. Up to anhydrides, you can see these are all alcohols. Right. Next, from amides, nitriles, isonitriles, these are all amines, different forms of amines. Next, carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid will give you alcohols. RCOH will give alcohols. RNO2, nitro group gets completely reduced into NH2. We have seen a similar type of reducing agent. Remember iron in HCl or SN in HCl. That is also giving the same effect. NO2 is being reduced to NH2. So we have got another reagent now, lithium aluminum hydride, that is also converting nitro groups into amines. So whether it is an alkyl group or an aryl group, both will be converted into respective amines. Now, if you have an alkyl halide, simple alkyl halide where you have methyl 1 degree, 2 degree, allyl, all of this forms, it will go through an SN2 type of a mechanism, SN2 mechanism, and forms alkane. So basically this Cl minus is replaced by H minus. Okay. So if you take tertiary, it will go for eliminations, but again we are not coming into that right now. So whatever the forms, important reduction forms are, that is what we are writing. So in the case of SN2, we will get alkanes. Next you see esters, cyclic esters. In cyclic ester, you can check it out. This part is also converting into alcohols. This part is also converting into alcohol, and chain got opened. But if you have cyclic amides, this is cyclic amide, that will still convert into amines only. Cyclic amide will convert into amines, cyclic amines. Okay. If you have C double bond N and OH, this functional group is called oxime. You may have come across in tautomerism. This is called oxime. Oximes are also going to get reduced into the form of amines. The only reaction which does not take place with lithium aluminum hydride is simple alkenes or alkynes. If you check out alkenes or alkynes, they do not give the reaction easily with lithium aluminum hydride. Okay, not terminal alkynes again. I am only talking about substituted alkynes. So alkenes and substituted alkynes, they both do not give this reaction. If you have epoxides will also give reaction with lithium aluminum hydride, where imagine this way, as if this H minus is attacking from this end, this bond is broken. So I will get CH3 CH2O minus, which on hydrolysis will give me this alcohol product. So the mechanism is through SN. So it's a powerful reducing agent, which means it will act like a very strong nucleophile. So strong nucleophiles always facilitate SN2 reaction. So I guess this side of the part is clear, everyone. What are all the reactions lithium aluminum hydride is giving? Okay. Now let us see about what this group is giving. Now let us come to sodium boron hydride. What all things it can reduce with comparison now. See, first we had acid chlorides, aldehydes, ketones which were reduced. The same thing will happen here also. Acid chlorides, aldehydes, ketones, they are being reduced by NaBH4. No problem with that. But after that, whatever list we had, which is esters, anhydride, amides, cyanides, isocyanides, none of these will undergo any reduction with NaBH4. And the reason simply is on the basis of, how powerful the reducing agent is. NaBH4 is not so powerful that it will that the electrophilicity of carbon is sufficient to get attacked. So carbon's electrophilicity is not very high, but lithium aluminum hydride was very strong, uh, powerful reducing agent. So that's why it was able to do the reaction, which NaBH4 couldn't do it. So it cannot reduce any of this. But what has been found, that if this sodium has been replaced by lithium, then it will become lithium boron hydride, LBH. Then you know that just like what happened here on the left hand side, you can see esters got easily reduced. The same thing will happen here also. If you take lithium boron hydride, the electrophilicity of this carbon increases, and you can see the reaction will take place and forms alcohols. So just one important tip, wherever you replace sodium by lithium, they will give similar reactions what lithium aluminum hydride was giving. Come again, beta.
So that unhydrated amide also can be reduced by LiBH4.
Amides have not been observed, anhydride has been observed. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
unless we have an experimental data, I am not giving that reactions. Okay. So whatever the data we have, I am giving that right now.
Yes.
Next, you see the acids. Acids, when you treat with NaBH4, here it is only an acid base reaction. This H plus and this H minus both will react to form H2, and this would become BH3 and a salt. That's all. So acid base reaction will only happen with acids, no reduction reaction. But if you use CF3COOH, a strong acid in it, then this OH2 can be replaced, because this will get protonated. OH2 can be replaced, and then NaBH4 will again attack, forms an aldehyde, later on it will become alcohol. So we need to take some strong acid, then this one, then the reaction can become alcohols. Okay. This is another tip. If you are not taking lithium boron hydride, then you can take some very strong acid compared to what acid you have. Then also reaction will end to form alcohols. Now with primary secondary amines, NaBH4 reactions are not usually seen, but with tertiary it will happen to give alkanes, and this will happen by SN1 mechanism. I hope all of you understood that. Like here it was giving primary, secondary, methyl and allyl. Here we can see that it would usually go for SN1 mechanism, because it is relatively a weak nucleophile. So it will go for SN1 mechanism and you will get alkanes. Okay. C double bond N. See, whenever you have C double bond N, these are called imines. I mean, if all of them are alkyl groups, on three sides we have alkyl groups, then we call it as imines. Okay. Imines will be reduced by both NaBH4 and lithium aluminum hydride to form amines. So imines are getting reduced by both of them. Now in generally what all things NaBH4 doesn't do, alkene both of them are not doing. So alkene reductions are not happening for both. Epoxide lithium aluminum hydride can do, sodium boron hydride will not do. Nitrocyanides, these are all not the reactions for NaBH4. Now let us see the mechanisms one by one. So all of these reactions are clear. Now we'll go through the mechanisms one by one. So first mechanism is about aldehydes are ketones, how they react with lithium aluminum hydride or sodium boron hydride. Okay, let's see that first. So in here what you can see, in the overall reaction what is happening, aldehyde are a ketone. When you treat that with lithium aluminum hydride, first it is forming a complex, a new complex of aluminum, and then on hydrolysis it is giving 4 moles of alcohols. How is it happening? Lithium aluminum hydride, the lone pair present on oxygen first attacks the lithium here, basically attacks as in there is an strong attractive force between lone pair of oxygen and lithium. Okay, and as soon as that is done, the electrophilicity of this carbon increases. As electrophilicity increases, this hydrogen bond will break and attack on the carbon. As soon as that breaks, this pi bond will shift onto oxygen and a new carbon hydrogen bond has been formed. This carbon oxygen single bond as intact. So O minus lithium plus has been formed. Now one thing we can observe here that AlH3 which has come out of it is electrophilic again. This is Lewis acid, and O minus is a very good Lewis base, so it would prefer to make a bond with aluminium more because aluminium is less less electropositive than lithium, correct? So this can make a good covalent bond. So oxygen will attack on AlH3, it will form OAlH3 minus and lithium plus. This form is going to come. So the same thing will happen here, AlH3 minus which has formed here. So if at all I take 3 more moles of aldehyde here, this H minus will keep on shifting here 3 times. So this H minus will keep shifting here. Here we'll get O minus which will become which will make a bond with lithium. Like that 3 more moles will react with this hydrides which are present and we'll get Al minus and this entire thing a complex which is an alkoxide RCH2O minus which is connected with this. Now when you hydrolyze it, all these 4 moles will become alcohols, right? Aluminium will become AlOH thrice, that would become AlOH thrice, got it? Lithium plus will come out of it, okay, and finally we will get this alcohol form. This is the alcohol form. In the alcohol form, you know what all things happened here? We got one hydride here, this hydride and as well as this hydrogen. The hydride which has come, this has comes from lithium aluminum hydride, while this hydrogen is actually coming from, this comes from water. Okay, we have R C double bond O, R dash in the presence of lithium aluminum hydride or deuterate in H2O. Another question is CHO in the presence of lithium aluminum hydride and D2O. So I'm sure you can guess the answers for the same. So we can see that C, we have O, H, D and R dash, because the carbon connected hydrogen will always come from lithium aluminum hydride, and this hydrogen comes from hydrolysis. Same thing in the second one, if you check out, we have this form C with OD, because oxygen connected one will always come from hydrolysis, and the one which is carbon connected is coming from lithium aluminum hydride. So this is that hydrogen and this is that deuterium which has come from water. Exactly the same mechanism is replicated for sodium boron hydride also. Same way NaBH4, it will also have 4 molecules of B minus, Na plus, it will give 4 moles of RCH2OH. Okay, so even in the case of lithium sodium boron hydride, you will see the same mechanism happening.